So welcome Strategy Battle Games to the GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host GBHL Damian, and this is my hobby vlog number 44, and this is it, the end of Project Gundabad. So to give you an idea about what's going on here, hopefully if everything goes to plan you're watching this on Friday afternoon. It's currently Thursday evening. I've just got in from work, so it's 5 o'clock, and this is my last push. I've got to get everything finished tonight, and there's a lot of work ahead, but I've got to be honest, I think I can do it. So the last bit of work I did was Monday evening. You would have seen my last vlog. I didn't get a lot of chance to do anything on Tuesday because we were recording. I did have a big push on it last night though. So how far have I got on? Well, first things first, we now have Gabe, who I think you saw just been cut off his base potentially. I'm not sure if that made it into the hobby vlog, but he was definitely going to be cut off his base, and as you can see, he's now had his own lovely Generation Shift Forgotten Dungeon base painted up, and he's been glued onto that, and his feet have been touched up where the kind of painted chipped wares are cut him off, so he's now ready to lead a warband. We are using him, and there was a discussion on my last hobby vlog about whether or not he's going to be a Gundabad captain, and I could just use him as a Gundabad captain and say, well, he doesn't have the pick and he has a shield and all that, and I'm sure our opponents would have been fine with it. But Christian Adams, I think it is, on the video had a great idea, which was to use him as a Hunter Orc captain with two-handed weapon, and then of course he has exactly the right gear, so that's what I decided to do. We've swapped him out, a Hunter Orc captain with two-handed weapon, so he's 50 points instead of 60, which then means I also get my 24th Gundabad into the army. So essentially we are swapping 2 points of defence, 1 point of strength and a point of courage and a shield for an extra attack on foot, a two-handed weapon and an extra Gundabad, which I think is a pretty decent trade, and more importantly it gives a kind of more WYSIWYG approach to his war gear, which I like. So yeah, Gold will be making an appearance, so that's great. Bolg exactly the same. I've done a bit more on his base since you last saw him, I think. I'm not sure if that was textured or painted, but I've just painted that in the same way I've done the rock. But obviously most of what I've been doing has been on these 6 guys, the final 6 Gundabads. And they're getting there. They're so very close to getting there. As you can see at the moment, this is where they are. At that stage, they're looking pretty good. They could go on the table at the moment, but they basically all need one more highlight. So the armour's been re-highlighted and shaded. Again, everything's had at least one highlight. But these 4 paints over here are my last remaining colours. So actually you'll see the 3 at the back are a hell of a lot shinier than that because they haven't had the wash reapplied. So that is the difference between when I add the wash to the recesses and before. Let's do it around that way, shall we? So before I add the washes to the recesses and after, you see it makes a huge difference to making them look far less shiny. It's a very, very important stage. So I've done that on 3 of them so far, so I've got to do the aggro surf shade in the recesses on 3 of them, and then I've got there we go, the Storm Vermin Fur highlight on the straps, the Doomball Brown and base Baneblade Brown highlight on the loincloths, and the Baneblade Brown highlight on the brown areas. So 3 more colours to go in total, and they'll be done. So all in all, I think I've got about 2 hours work to do on these guys, and about 2 hours work to do on Bulb, just to finish off the wild and finish off a few bits, which is plenty. But that's not it. I am doing something else, which I kind of might have hinted at a couple of times, but I didn't want to kind of show any work in progress of, because I wasn't honestly sure if I was going to do it. As recently as Monday, I was pretty much convinced I wasn't going to do it, and I chucked out the idea. But I have now committed to doing it because basically because a lovely young man came and helped me out a bit, which meant that I think I've been able to do it. So I will show you this piece by piece and see if as we go you can work out what we're going to do. First off, I have this. It is a piece of castle wall. It's a bit too, it's unfortunately a bit too zoomed out. Let's see if we can, hang on. Boom. There you go. So I've got this piece of castle wall made out of foam board, and I'm going to be using that. There we go. And this was made actually a long time ago, a good few years ago, when it's part of my Helm's Deep model. I've basically got a whole Helm's Deep made like this, but not painted. It's just been sitting in the cupboard, and I knew for what I'm about to tell you, the thing I'm going to do, I needed something like this, a kind of wall piece or stone piece that I didn't have, and I just didn't think I'd have the time to do it, and that's why I was going to abandon this idea. But I then had the idea of digging through the Helm's Deep and found this piece which is absolutely perfect for what I needed. So I dug it out, tidied it up a bit, added some more bricks to it. It's just made out of foam board, and then cardboard bricks have been glued onto it, like crenellations. So you'll notice it looks a bit like Helm's Deep in the shape of the battlements. And then I must say a huge thank you to James Long, who's been over at mine for the last couple of nights, who happily stepped in at the last minute while I was painting my Gundabads and painted this. So he painted this and dry brushed it and has done a really good job on it. So I've got that. I've got a wall. Why have I got a wall? Because on the front of the wall is going to be this. Bolg, the bringer of death. So that's essentially going to go on there. So this was typed up. There's a bit of texture on it on the paper. I don't know if you can see it. To look like parchment. It's actually the stuff we use for the battle reports in SBG. It's the same pattern on that. It was then typed Bolg, the bringer of death on there, and then I burnt the edge. So it's all been set fire and had the edge burnt off like that. And then my good lady wife went over it in this kind of glue pen thing, so it's just, she kind of draws transparent thick glue, so it makes it raised a bit, it gives it kind of embossed edge, but also means it stops looking like print, and it looks really nice. It looks like kind of shiny gloopy blood, which is quite nice. So that's going to get pinned on here. I've got these 4 dressmaking pins that I decided rather than just sticking them in as silver, I didn't think the silver looked right. I thought I need to paint them silver. I know that sounds insane, but so I'm going to be painting them, and then it's going to be kind of pinned in as if it had been nailed onto the wall there. But why, oh why, am I nailing Bolg, the bringer of death, onto a wall, I hear you cry? Because of these. And what we have here are heads on sticks, everyone's favourite. So we've got cut off heads on spikes. They're all Rohan, so poor old Rohan. A whole bunch of old broken kind of tatty Rohan models I had sitting in a bag that I'd kind of won on eBay in some sort of group deal. I've been drilled through again. Huge thank you to James Long, who drilled through 5 of these last night at no small expense to his fingers. So he's been an absolute legend for me. I'm going through these, and he drills through these heads, and so you end up with heads on spikes. Now I'm figuring out what this thing is yet. Got one more to do. And what these do is, let's see if I can just tilt you up a bit. These sit in here. This, like this. So I have heads on spikes coming out of a wall that says Bolg, the bringer of death. Has anyone worked it out yet? I would hope so, because what this is going to be is Bolg's bringer of death special rule tracker. So as you probably know, as Bolg kills models, he gets more powerful. So our little dismount can sit here, there, while his cavalry one runs around and kills everything. And what we're going to do is put these into the wall as he kills models. So there's 10, so when I think it's when he's 2 he causes terror, when he's killed 5 he's got Harbinger of Evil, when he's killed 10 he's got Mighty Hero. And rather than noting it down, we're going to put spikes on the wall as he kills models, and have that kind of effect, which I think is pretty cool. It's something I wanted to do right since the start of the project. I really didn't think I was going to have time to do it, but I am now committed to doing it, and so fingers crossed we'll get that done. So there we go. I think all told this probably needs about 2 hours work to paint up all these heads. Shouldn't take too long, but it's not it needs doing. It's not something I can just kind of forget about and assume we'll get done. But yeah, so huge thanks to James Long for helping me out on this. And all told, I reckon I've got about 2 hours work left on the Gundabads, 2 hours work left on Bolg, and 2 hours work left on this. So that's 6 hours work. It is 5 o'clock, and so yeah, all being well, by about 11 o'clock, I mean, we all know it's not going to get done because we're going to need to eat something, we're going to have little breaks and stuff, but it should be able to be done in one crazy evening of hobby goodness. So there we go. I might pop back throughout the evening with a couple of updates, but what I categorically will do is tomorrow morning, when I'll take everything to where it's nice and light, and I'll show you the whole army laid out ready for war, hopefully entirely finished, hopefully with this, and just before we pack off and head off to Warhammer World. So there we go, one last time guys, wish me luck. And I am back, and I am done. It is 2 in the morning and I have finished. So let's take a quick look through all these bits. I don't think he's off his base, but here is Gold now on his new dog order base. His feet touched up. He was done yesterday, but he's come off his millbot top now. Pop him back. I've now got my 6 fully completed, my final 6 fully completed Gundabads, with all their last highlights done. Obviously just following the same paint scheme from all the other times. Adding a Storm Vermin grey highlight to the grey, a Baneblade brown highlight to the brown, and a Doomball brown and Baneblade brown highlight to the loincloth. I'm working the Agraxo shade into the recesses of those 3 orcs that I hadn't done it to. And him. And finally, the big boss man, Mounted Bolg. He is done. So I've done some more work on his warg, kind of put more layers onto the warg skin. What Bolg himself had a bit more work, but hopefully now is looking quite nice. There he is. General of my force. This big rock, which I gave a rim, and I put these kind of pale, what they call tufts in. I think fit in with a kind of, I didn't want to put too much colour into it for dog order. It just breaks the base up a bit, I think. Hopefully it works quite well. But there he is. And very excited to say I got this done as well. The Bringer of Death. So that's kind of just want to zoom out. I can't zoom out. So we can do that. So we got the heads on the spikes. These will obviously pull out so that we can track Bolg's kills as we go. Sticking into the battlement. Bolg, the Bringer of Death, which is kind of pinned on with those dressmaking pins. Giving a bit of a 3D look, which is quite nice. Bolg, the Bringer of Death. And there we go. There's our little kill tracker for Bolg. So there we go. It's 2 in the morning. I've finished my army. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to hopefully wake up fairly early, and I'm going to take it downstairs and give you a kind of pan over the whole army in daylight to show the finished Project Gundabad, which I've managed to get done in time for Warhammer World Doubles. Then I'm off to work, and then getting in the car about 5 o'clock and driving up to Doubles. And these guys will be heading to war with Adam over the weekend. And yeah, hopefully we'll get on alright. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And here we are. It is Friday morning. I've just woken up, having nabbed a few hours of precious sleep. I'm pretty damn tired, but just before I head into work, I thought it'd be nice to show you the whole army, and here it is. So this is what I've been working on for the last 7 weeks in total. It's taken me to build up the whole force. And this is obviously my doubles army, and every model, with the exception of this guy, has been painted specifically for this tournament. So all the conversions, there's no 2 identical poses. I've got 6 of the original Gundabads on here, and then all the other 18 have been changed in somewhat, so they're all unique, which is fairly cool. And it's all kind of being presented in front of this Bringer of Death frontispiece. And of course, as I believe I've showed you, our cheery little dismount can stand there. And I say our cheery little dismount can stand there, I mean obviously he'll be off there in about 3 minutes time in every game when they shoot the damn warg out from under him. but he'll certainly start there. I think he looks pretty cool. So there is the army. A few fun facts about this now. I've painted since my hobby resurgence 2 months ago, where I started doing Legolas and the Mirkwood Knights. I've painted 32 models in 8 weeks, which certainly by my standards is pretty great. And if you consider that in the previous 7 months I painted 4 models in total, I'm pretty damn happy with that. So yeah, if I could keep a rate of 32 models every, essentially 16 models a month, I'd be very happy with that. But I'm sure I won't. This is very much a kind of crazy one-off for this tournament. However, it has potentially put me back on track. If you've been keeping up with my hobby vlogs, of that idea at the start of the year that I wanted to paint, was it 52 models? And given that at the end of July I'd painted 4, I thought that was right out. But this is really kind of potentially got me back on schedule. And even if I don't get that many done, I've still got a nice big chunk here. And it's cool to have an entirely new army as well, from scratch, to have all these guys done. Really, really liked them. It has been tough. There is no point denying that. I've done more painting than I would have liked to. I've been painting very, very late, and feeling like I have to paint rather than I want to paint, which isn't always great to get everything done. But I think it was absolutely worth it. I'm really happy with how the force looks. I like the colour scheme. It's a good job given that I've spent, painted 26 models in it essentially. I think they've come out nice. The generation shift bases really set them off. So yeah, all in all, very happy with this force indeed. Have a look at Bolg. You've seen all these guys individually as I finished them, but I thought it'd be nice to just pan over the complete force a few times. So just a few thanks. Cheers to everyone who's kind of cheered me on throughout this. It really has meant a lot. There's been loads of lovely comments from people kind of saying, keep going, you can do it, and all that sort of stuff. Kev Spector wrote the original paint guide that I followed for the armour, which I've ended up really, really happy with. So cheers to Kev for that kind of colour scheme and for that advice. Matt Davis, a generation shift, for sorting me out with the bases. Cheers, buddy. They're absolutely awesome, and I think they really, really set the whole army off. Saying there's an interesting thing as well, like basing them essentially on a neutral grey as opposed to a brown, I think really sets off the colours of the model. And neutral grey is what you'll often mount work on, like on the walls in studios and stuff. And so having I think the models kind of pop a bit better off this kind of grey base. And they sometimes do off browns or something. So yeah, cheers to Matt. Thanks especially to James Long for the last couple of nights. He chucked the paint onto this wall, got that done, and he base coated these heads for me, which essentially allowed me right at the death to get the whole project finished. So cheers to him. And to Adam, my erstwhile doubles partner, who over a pint of finest ale at Steve Crow's Altrincham tournament, what was that, 8 weeks ago, we sat and chatted about what army we could bring along and came up with this idea. And it's been really fun over the last few weeks, just sending each other lots of work in progress pictures and kind of motivating each other. So the idea that I would have painted an entire army of Gundabads in 7 weeks with the heroes and stuff is fairly absurd. But thanks to Adam's relentless kind of hobby drive and support, and just frankly going, yeah, you can get it done, you can do it, no worries. I've managed to get an army, so cheers for that. Make sure you've checked out his own hobby vlogs on his IRX channel, as he's been updating on what he's been doing with the Hunter Orcs, which I believe as of right now, Friday morning, he's just finishing the last few bases off. So yeah, there we go. So it's been awesome. Really, really happy with the force, and it will be being packed up now and marching to Warhammer World Doubles with me this evening. So hopefully I'll be seeing some of you over the weekend and getting some games in and celebrating, and hopefully I won't get absolutely tanked. I don't think it's particularly competitive, but I think we get lucky against some opponents who've taken kind of similarly fluffy armies that we might well be able to get a win or two. Fingers crossed. Other than that, It's probably worth saying that my hobby vlogs after this wonderful period of hobby activity are now going to take a almost certain drop off due to an impending SBG magazine release. That I always try and pretend that it probably won't have an effect, but it always invariably does have a huge effect on my hobby time. And our print deadline for that is the 10th of October. So essentially for the next 3 weeks I'm going to be relentlessly working on the magazine. So it's not to say there won't be a hobby vlog, but I suspect if there is, I might miss a week or two, or there might be significantly less progress. But then hopefully after those 3 weeks are done, I might be able to get a bit more done for the rest of the year. I do know what I'm going to be doing next, but I'll talk about all that when I come back. It is going to be a slight extension of this army, which is kind of cool. So yeah, look out for that, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But apart from that, thanks to everyone who's cheered me on. I hope you've enjoyed this kind of individual project over the last 7 weeks. It's been good fun and I'm really happy with results. Until next time then, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your hobby host by clicking on the links below. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Support your hobby and happy strategy battle gaming.